Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. It's a CAC KS-1, but which CAC KS-1 is it, I hear you cry? It's the WellPro. So I've done a couple of videos on the KS-1 builds, guys. This is actually my VFC one, which I think a lot of people have started putting out content on. I've seen some really good reviews on these now. Seen some very, very positive feedback. I am going to do some reviews on this, but I'm going to hold off on that a little bit because something else arrived, which you may have seen in my last unboxing video, which was this, which is the WellPro KS-1 by Knights Armament. And so this is like a cheaper version from WellPro. It's just been released, or it was released slightly before the VFC one. However, this one actually got to me later. And in the unboxing video, I unbox it. I do some comparisons like for like with the VFC. Now, I am going to do some more in-depth comparisons with the VFC. But what I thought actually what I would do in this video is just kind of like go over this and then actually just test it. We're going to like actually fire it through the chronograph, get some ideas of like how consistent it is, what this magazine is like. And then also, actually, hold on. Before we do anything, I need to do a massive apology. In the last video when I was talking about it, I was saying that this was an MWS system, and it's not at all. It's a VFC system. I got confused. There are two MWS systems. Dave's Custom, which is kind of like a custom built version. That is based off an MWS. And then there is the Angry Gun version, which takes MWS mags, is based on an MWS system. This is a VFC system. So supposedly is a bit of a copy of the VFC actual build. So it's funny that they came out with this before. Otherwise, I think they may have got some like issues in terms of being sued, etc. But this is basically a cheaper version of the same system, which means that I can actually run the VFC mags in here. So we can actually test out what these mags are like, what this is like in consistency and in rate of fire, etc. And then I also may use this mag, which is very, very clearly the WellPro mag, because it's got an orange top to it, in the VFC, and see if that runs in there and if that works in there as well. But it's going to be more of a focus in this video on this, the WellPro. I'm also going to kind of build it out a little bit in terms of this build. I've got some bits that were hanging around and I was like, you know what, I might as well kind of put them on here for now as opposed to just leave them in my drawer, so we can make this thing look a little bit cooler, hopefully, than it is. I don't think it's going to look as cool as this. And this will be a separate video we'll do afterwards, focusing on this one instead. So it's going to be a comparison video-ish. But the focus of this is the WellPro, and then the next video is going to be the focus on that is going to be the VFC. So this is the WellPro, $410. So in terms of like, I want a cheap-ish gas blowback. I want something that from a company that have made stuff that works, i.e. they've done recently the PPK-20 from WellPro, which I actually really like. I think it's a very, very good replica and it's very well reviewed. So they are obviously starting to do some very, very good builds in terms of like gas blowback stuff. So when I saw this, I was like, you know what, I'm going to get it. I'm going to test it out and see what it's like. They then released the VFC one. I ordered that. But for $410, you're basically getting a VFC-based gas blowback system, and it's a bit different. It's not like, oh, it's an M4A1 or a CQBR or something which a lot of people have. This thing is actually, you know, a little bit of one of those like, oh, everyone wants one, kind of like, oh, it's a new Royal Marines Ranger Regiment style replica. However, it does miss the mark slightly, I would say, on that. Like, you don't have the gray stock tube like you do on this one. You don't have the dagger here. You don't have the like same colored triggered guard that is kind of the same in that FDE. The color isn't quite as cool as that color. It's much more of your standard FDE. Like there's little bits and pieces on this which just aren't quite as like together. It does come with like a, I'm presuming, Repro Magpul grip, the Miad grip, which is what comes on the Royal Marines one. But again, it's just not the same quality as a real one. So they've obviously just kind of ripped that off. I'm presuming it's the same with the stock, even though they seem fine. And like there isn't much wiggle in this stock, which makes me happy because I hate that. There's not the that colored charging handle. You've kind of got this gray bolt, which does feel a little bit cheap. I would say it's not like it's cheap. I'm also not getting any like nozzle hold, you know, where it's like that really good nozzle air seal. Oh, and I just say that now I've started to get it. So I don't know, it feels, as I've said in my other one, very much more like the Noveski N4. But for $400, I'm like, you know what, you're getting a pretty awesome looking and feeling piece of kit for not a huge amount of money when it comes to gas blowback replicas in comparison. So what we're going to do is we'll put these little like builds on it, and then I'm going to test it out. So what I've actually got is I've got one of these, which is my Holosun HS510C. This one actually is one that I had running on my truck gun, is what I call it, like my little, what is it? It's the CGS PDW M4, PDW. It's that little kind of like compact PDW M4. And I switched that out for a different site. So I decided, let's put this on here. Now it is black, which kind of makes me annoyed because I don't like it when I've kind of mixed up colors. But with that, I've got a black trigger guard. I got a black trigger, all of the mag release, bolt release, the selector, you know, like a lot of black on here, and obviously the black barrel underneath. So I don't mind it too much having a black sight on here. Plus we have this Unity Tactical PTS fast riser, which I think is going to look fairly cool on it. We'll have a little look at that and just see. But this sight is really good, the HS510C. Come forward slightly. Does look a bit strange on this riser. What do you guys think of that? I think that's pretty cool. Maybe back one. Drop it back to there. Yeah, I mean, that is very, very clear picture, which is the one thing, not the one thing, it's one of the things I love about this site. It's kind of like got that feel of an EOTech, but it's obviously not an EOTech. Nothing is an EOTech. Too big. But the other thing I also realized is this thing, when you get it out the box, unlike the VFC, it doesn't come with iron sights. Or I don't have any iron sights for it, which is kind of annoying. I'm really annoyed that I made that faux pas with the MWS system, because I had a couple of people writing on there and I was like, oh my God, I've completely got that wrong. And I'm like, oh, it's great. If you've got an MWS and you've got MWS mags, you can use it. That's not the case at all. Okay, so that looks pretty cool. That works really well in terms of the sight picture on it. Other things that I'm going to put on here is this, which is my little Vitatu. I just really like these laser pointers / flashlight. Come back a slight bit. If you haven't seen my videos on this, like, they've sent me ones for free. This one specifically, they actually didn't send me for free. I actually bought this one just because I wanted it for a build and I didn't want to wait for them to potentially send or ask them and then they say, hey, maybe we can send you one or maybe we can't. I just kind of was like, you know what? I like them. I've reviewed them. They're very, very cheap for what they are. I think it's about $60, something like that. And it basically, the amazing thing with these little grips is that they put everything in one area. Like I have pressure switches, plus I've got a flashlight, plus I've also got a green laser on this one. And it's all in that one area on my top of my Picatinny rail. Is that going in nicely? Okay, that feels good. So that's there. So that feels good. That's now what it's looking like. So I think that does look cooler. I hope you agree, but I think that looks cooler. And then the final thing we're going to do is actually put one of the LinoCAD suppressors on here. I'm hoping it will fit with the what do you call it? The Vitatu sight. I'm presuming it will. Yeah, we're good. And I think this is what makes the KS-1 look like a KS-1, this suppressor that comes on here. Again, I've done another video of this. This is a 3D printed suppressor. It's not QD release. It just goes onto 14mm threads. But if you want to check that out, I've got a couple of videos on it. He did a change it up and make it even better after I told him that the attachment for recoil wasn't quite working. He actually like changed that completely. So I'm a big fan. You can put a suppressor in here. You can put one of these Ace Tech Bifrost, or sorry, Blaster R modules in there. And so you can basically turn that into a tracer. But that already, I think, looks a lot cooler. So if you want to spend $400, obviously this stuff is all extra. You can make something that looks very cool. But the big thing for me is going to be performance. Now, I already have mentioned this magazine on the previous video, and I hate this. This orange to me is the most ugly thing I've ever seen. I don't know why you would have it that way. Obviously, it's inside the rifle, and it's not visible, but if you have got it outside, it doesn't feel good. This is kind of moving these feed lips here. That is a green like gas valve, gas router there, which is just, again, not very nice. It's got the same style. Okay, it does not have the same style. So I thought that this was a hold open for the bolt. And what it actually is if you pull this back, you might see that this thing pops out. And that is like a little reload nodule kind of thing. Which weirdly, I know it's not realistic, but I kind of like it if there's a way to load it, which there is. So you've got like a little hole there. So let's test this out. This actually could make this thing pretty cool. Because if these mags work well, like the problem with this is it's got 7.62 by 35, which someone in the comments actually corrected me and said, hey, this actually is correct for 300 blackout. They do put 7.62 for that caliber of round on 300 blackout. So it's not like a mix of 7.62, then 300 blackout, then also supposed to be in a 5.56. But this is a 5.56 real steel. So it's supposed to be 5.56. So they've just messed this up. The quality of this magazine generally is pretty bad in comparison. Like this is the VFC one. Yes, you have two-tone colors here, but you've got this metal piece which it hooks on. This one's plastic. This is a lot cheaper feeling plastic. You can see there's like a differential between there. The feed lips are very different. So if I lock that in now. Okay, well this is an issue. It might not lock in. Okay, there we go. The feed lips are different, where this is very flat, like square for the VFC, and this has got like the little circular hole to like take it out. Again, also on top of here, I don't know how this is going to work in, I don't think a VFC mag is going to work in this WellPro. Just looking at like the location there of the gas routers, I just don't see how. Charlie, stop. Hey. He likes to try and just like find and destroy stuff. The gas valves on the back, like the switch on this one basically does the ability to dry fire. So if I knock this back, it will hold this down and allow you to dry fire. Doesn't look like you have the same ability on this one. Although you do, because you just remove this slide and then you could dry fire, because there is going to be no kind of like holding it back, I don't think. I'm trying to think how that might work. Yeah, I think that could work. We'll try it out anyway in this video, but fill valve on the WellPro one's on the back. Fill valve on the VFC is on the bottom. These are just very, very nice mags, I have to say. Like it's got VMAG, it's got 5.56. They're just very, very, very nice mags. This one in comparison just feels very, very cheap. That's all I'm going to say. In fact, let's give you a little zoom in so you guys can see it. Like this is the VFC one. You can see there, like the finish on it is really, really nice. Gas valve in the bottom. I've got a lot of these black ones. They're basically the same. And then you've got this, which is the shiny WellPro one with that horrible top to it. The wrong markings on it. This is quite a strange little gap you have here. So yeah, so 100% the VFC mags are a lot better. In terms of cost of them though, that's a good question. Let's have a look at the cost of the WellPro mag. Because if the WellPro mag is cheaper, let's see, WellPro magazine because I think these are about 65, the VFC ones. The WellPro mags, you can't even get them, it looks like. WellPro KS-1 mag, let's search that and see. KS-1 magazine. There we go, you can get them. And they're $42. So again, it's a very similar price comparison, I think. Oh no, hold on. This is not for the PMag version. This is for the, that's for the StanAg kind of version of it. But it's very similar where it's like you're spending $408 or $410 for the replica, and then this is a very respectable $42, where I think it's like $65 for the VFCs. So yeah, so it's kind of like 1.5 times the price on average, I would say, because the VFC is about $580. So that's kind of where you're looking. Okay, so get rid of that. What I was planning on doing before we kind of got very weirdly sidetracked is I'm going to fill this guy up. Now, the gas that I'm going to use to test this is going to be this Swiss Arms heavy gas. I'm going to use it on both the VFC mag and on the WellPro mag. So we can do a direct comparison. That again, also the seal on that just sounds better. Weight-wise, they're fairly similar. I wouldn't say there's a big difference between them. It's just a very obvious feeling on the texture. Okay, so let's fill this guy up. In fact, what I'm going to do first is I just want to test and see. Let's see if I've got the VFC magazine filling adapter. And I do quite want to see if this thing, I think it's this one. Is it that one? What's this one here? No, it's this one. Okay, so that fits on there. That doesn't fit on here. So the feed lips are a lot looser on here. So you can see here, I can fit that on there. That sits nice and snug. This guy doesn't sit. But if I want to fill, I need to hold it on. That's the first thing I know. No, so I can't squeeze that in there. Whereas on the VFC mag, that goes in there fine. It's so weird how these happen. You know, they're like fill on one, not fill on the other. These adapters. I think I should get a better speed loader actually as well, because this thing is not good. Okay, well that puts some in there. It's obviously not a very good speed loader, so I might go and get a different one of those in a second. But with this one, I'm going to remove this. I'm going to pull this out. I'm then going to retract this down. It's like a side pull, which actually is kind of nice as well. Like it's quite an easy. Okay, so this actual speed loader is jammed, which is why. Or it was. So it's a pretty easy load. I mean, one thing I would say is if the gas capacity on this is really good, but look at that, it's really hard to, it's like a double stacked mag, but you can see it from the side. And so you can see there, I've missed out on pieces. So, I mean, it's like, the thing is, if technically, if you wanted to play more of a milsim environment, but actually like have the ability to like use magazines that aren't going to need to carry the entire thing, if this gas reservoir can do like 2 or 3 fills, you could just carry a bag of these. If you carry a bag of these, then you're basically just throwing this in each time instead of doing a full reload. You're pushing that in, closing it, and then you've got another mag. Oh wait, I don't want to have to like do all the bullshit. I can just do this. Instead of carrying a speed loader around with you, you can just take these around. I mean, if this works well, I may look at getting more of these. Let's put it that way. Okay, so let's put the VFC one to one side. And let's see what it fires like first. I'm going to use my indoor glasses. A lot of people, when I did the video or the shorts on this, were like, hey, that's not good to play airsoft in. There's no protection. I know that this is 2 big gaps, but I am not using it to play. I'm using it to stop like ricochets, basically, as I'm using this. So hopefully you don't have a go at me in the comments. Right, so with this going in, it sits in there great. One thing I did actually notice, which I talked about in the other video, was the bolt lock that I had on here. It wasn't working, this button. It does work. It's just I have to like almost work it in. So it does work, the bolt release on this side. It's just it was like off at an angle, and now it seems to be working fairly well. So it's not like that isn't functional, just as a heads up after watching the unboxing video. Okay, so that is us charging it. We'll go here. Okay, and that didn't fire, so it's a good start. It should fire because it picked up a BB. It should fire because we've done it before. We actually fired it in the unboxing video. Okay, so that should have gas in it. Let's charge it, put it on safe, input the magazine. Oh, and look at that. I just shifted it and that thing just slipped down. See that? The back of that grip. So that for me is a big, big no-no. Because if you're using that and the back of that grip goes, I mean, that's an absolute horrible thing to have happen. Okay, right, so let's go. Yep, didn't fire again. So double it. Yeah, so that's not firing. And I don't know why. Yeah, so it's just pulling it and then it's not firing. Yeah, there's a BB in the chamber. If I seat the mag, still not going. And look, that pressure there has pushed this down. So guys, I'm really, really not impressed right now. Let me just see if this will fire, which is the VFC mag. Okay, that won't sit in there. That's not sitting in the mag. It's not locking in. So you definitely won't be able to use VFC mags with it. Just double check with a couple of others. No. So you can see here, it's just the wrong dimensions. Seems like the catch, I mean, it's in a similar location. It's just not going up at all. And if I just hold it in place, that's not pulling either. So I don't know, guys, what's wrong with this right now, because this magazine did work previously. Just make sure there is gas in it. Yep, that's got resistance to it there. Yeah, there's nothing happening. Have a look at this firing pin. Okay, I pulled that down slightly. Don't know why it's moving, but no, not working again. I'm thinking like the actual, like, because there's movement in it there. Let's see the other system. This one's moving. No, it's the same. So it isn't exactly like, I was thinking maybe that this magazine like top valve is just pushing it up. and it's not allowing the firing. Let's try and do it with dry fire. Let's see if that does anything. Hear that? So one of the BBs came out through the bottom there. Nope, that's not firing. Nope. Well, guys, if you're watching this and by the end of the video I don't get this sorted out, you need to tell me what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, no, not working. Because at the moment I can't work out what I am doing other than the firing pin in this is gone somehow. And I don't know how it would have gone between now and... Like, I haven't used it since the last video. There we go. Okay, for some reason, I don't know, but that firing pin was like shifted forward. When I pushed it back into there, that seemed to work, and I don't know why. Okay, so this is... It has got a really nice kick to it. Like, it's definitely like feels very snappy. The trigger feels good after like messing around there and not having it work. Okay, so let's go. These are 0.25 gram BBs. So that's firing at 374, 367, 361, 360. That didn't register. 358, 351. So it's pretty consistent, or feels pretty consistent. And then if we're firing rate of fire, let's see what we're doing. Okay, so that made the chrono shut off. And broke the chrono, apparently. No, okay. Well, that definitely feels like it was firing slower towards the end there. Again, it's turning the chrono off, which is great. Battery just not in. And that was the last round, and that was at 366. So the consistency on it's not bad. I mean, that was one whole magazine that went through there. So let's see if we can get through another mag. Okay. Put that through, and it's hard to know if you've actually filled the mag is one thing. Okay, so it's definitely easier to load though than other magazines. Like, it's not exactly a hard one to load. Okay, let's do rate of fire. Okay, that just slammed the bolt when I rammed that in. That just slammed it, so that was not great. Again, it's just powering this thing off. Okay, so that is 13 rounds a second. And that went down to 295 if I'm firing the end of this mag. 313, 308, 313. So it went through two of those. I think you'd probably get 2 or 3 mag pulls on that. And that's kind of where it was firing at that 308. I mean, I'm just worried that like how consistent this thing would be. Let's see if this thing will fire on the VFC. I don't want to break it, but I am quite interested to see if it will fire. So I'm going to fill it back up. Charlie's over there like, what are you doing? We worked out then that it's not going to fit, or it's not going to work on the the VFC mags aren't going to work in the Well Pro. And I was hoping that would be the case, because if it's based on a Well Pro, I think that was kind of similar. I think they did that with like their AK-12, where it was supposed to be like compatible with AKM mags, and it just ended up like the AKM mags didn't work. Right, let's do, they were like very similar, but not the same. Okay, so let's see if this will fit in here. Okay, again, same thing. It's not locking in. So you're not going to get, the mags are not compatible. There's the big announcement of the video. The mags between a Well Pro and a VFC are not compatible, which now means that if I want to play with my Well Pro, I am going to have to go and buy a load of Well Pro mags. So it's going to depend, like, is it worth doing? In fact, on that, let's do a quick check then on the VFC. Because if we do a check on the VFC, and the VFC is just more consistent and performing better. This thing, this speed loader is awful. Okay, so we'll go with that. I've only got a few rounds in here, but let's see what the consistency is like on this thing. I expect it's going to be similar. I can't imagine it's going to be that much different. It's just a very much nicer bolt pull, but much nicer trigger when you're firing it. 386, and it's louder as well. 380, 380, 372, 376, 375. Rate of fire. So that was saying 35 rounds a second. That's wrong. Okay, so that, I mean, it's just a much better replica. Like, I have to say, like, if you're thinking about it, I mean, I'm going to do a separate review on this, but as of right now, if you're thinking about buying that one or this one, and you're like, okay, well, it's like $180 cheaper, plus I can get cheaper mags for it, just go with the VFC one. Because it's like little things as well. The fact that I've only just picked it up, and then you've got like you've got the actual like rear piece here, like that coming down. I mean, you can buy a new like actual grip for it, like I did with this one, but that's the real one, and that's not doing that. And this one is just, there's no real stippling on it. It's cheap. Like the actual like parts, etc., are cheaper. This thing not fully working right when I first got it. Like that issue where we're just having it where it's like not fully firing and I have to go and play with a pin inside. I have to say, guys, I thought I would be a lot more impressed with this, and I'm really not. So yeah, I might see how much these mags are, but this might well be a giveaway to someone, and someone can kind of do what they want to do with it, because I can't imagine this being anything other than a wall hanger. Me going out when I've got that VFC, playing in a game, yeah, I don't see it. Like, I really don't. So I think it might be one of those. It's going to be one of the ones that looks cool on the wall. Someone's going to be like, oh, let's just backpedal plink with it, etc. But I can't imagine having that consistency going out playing. I would just get angry. So guys, that's probably going to be the overview of this, the Well Pro KS-1. It's definitely, I was expecting to have a better review for you guys, I'm afraid, because I really, really love the, PPK-20, and I really want to get a PPK-19, the like Bison version. I think that thing looks amazing. Or not Bison, sorry, it's just the PPK-19. I think that thing looks amazing, and I may well end up picking one of those. But yeah, I'm not over impressed with this, is my kind of overview. If you guys want specific things tested, let me know in the comments, and I'll try and do short videos and just test it and like work stuff out for you. If you think I've missed something in this video, same thing, do it as well. Stay tuned, and I'll be doing a video on this, and also this, which is the FCW from Octagon Airsoft QD CAC suppressor, which I haven't got the VFC one, but this one's pretty great, and it's very, very close coloring to the actual VFC version as well. So I can definitely say so far I really like this. There'll be a full video on that, and also on my continuing build of this VFC KS-1. Thanks, guys. Speak to you soon. Speak soon. Bye.